Heads up, Ravens fans. Bucky Brooks has put out his first mock draft, and he thinks the Ravens will be taking Josh Conerly in the first round of the NFL draft. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well. If you want to get notified every single time I put a brand new video, we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers before next season starts. We're over 4,600. So, if you want to hit the subscribe, see more NFL draft content for the Baltimore Ravens and more, mock draft Mondays every Monday, please let me know. This is the first video I'm doing like this year. Some years you guys really like these styles of videos. Some years you don't. But basically analyzing NFL analysts' draft selections for the Baltimore Ravens in their mock drafts, right? Obviously, on Mondays, I put out my mock drafts, 7-round no trades. Most analysts, they only do the first round. So it's really me analyzing who they select for the Baltimore Ravens and then me talking about that prospect in a little bit more detail and my thoughts on if the Ravens were to draft them. So please let me know if you like this style of content. I love doing Daniel Jeremiah's. I love doing Mel Kiper's. I like doing Bucky Brooks's. Those are just a couple of the people. Not an everyday thing, but maybe once a week I talk about them, or when just big things happen, because this is a big name. This is a big name on Twitter right now. This is a big name on Ravens Twitter, because a lot of Ravens fans are saying, man, this is really the guy that we're going to draft. Now, before I get into the analysis of him, Bucky Brooks wrote, with Ronnie Stanley's injury history and impending free agency, the Ravens could add an athletic edge blocker to protect Lamar Jackson within the pocket. That's all he wrote about the Ravens taking Josh Conerly. If you don't know about Josh Conerly, he was Oregon's left tackle the last 2 seasons. He's 6'4". He's 315 pounds, so he certainly has the size for an offensive tackle to compete in the NFL. And this guy is a first-round pick. This is a good offensive tackle. This is the exact type of offensive tackle that you would look at as like, yeah, this guy's going in the back end of the first round, which is good. That means he can play, probably right away. Maybe, sometimes it takes, 2-3 weeks of, just extra practice, extra reps. But if the Ravens were to move on from Ronnie Stanley, if they can't agree to a contract, don't be afraid of them potentially drafting offensive linemen in the first round. And it looks like Josh Conerly would be the guy if they decide to do that and draft tackle. But I did mention, I said, man, Conerly he's going crazy on Twitter right now. Everybody's talking about him, and Ravens fans are pissed because a lot of Ravens fans, as I reset my camera, they're saying, why would we draft this guy when we could draft Mike Green? Because if you don't know, I'm going to play the clip right now. Hopefully I played the clip. First time adding a clip into a video while we're doing it. But if you watch that, Mike Green is an edge rusher out of Marshall. He's very good, and he absolutely destroyed Josh Conerly at the Senior Bowl. That is why Conerly is going crazy on Twitter right now, is because people are talking about that play. And obviously that's not a good rep. Mike Green, that's a fantastic rep. But don't take one rep against a very good player, end all be all. Now, if you want to add some stock to Mike Green, absolutely. Because that kind of power, that kind of speed, that, your ferocity, that's pretty rare. And Mike Green will be going in the first round. He was projected maybe to be available for the Ravens. I don't think that's happening. I think Mike Green probably goes top 15, top 20. And we'll see where it ends up going. But Mike Green won't be available. But a lot of people I'm seeing are saying, Ravens got to trade some picks. Like, we got to get up and get Mike Green rather than drafting Conerly, because again, analysts and people are projecting the Ravens to go with Conerly, which is very difficult as a Ravens fan to watch, because, you're a team that a lot of fans are very vocal about who you want the Ravens to take, where they've gone in positions in the past. And unfortunately, tackle is definitely a position the Baltimore Ravens could end up drafting because of the situation that they're in, right? If they don't keep Ronnie Stanley, they don't have a left tackle. Now, they could if they decide to shift Roger Rosengarten over to left tackle, where he played in high school, where he played early at Washington, and then switched because Michael Penix is a lefty, so he was the blind side at Washington. Rosengarten can play left tackle. So if you want to draft, a right tackle, that's fine. Conerly, you can get him to play on the right side. That's totally fine. But you're going to need a starting tackle if you can't re-sign Ronnie Stanley, right? We don't have a backup, unfortunately. So First round, second round, that is the option, or I guess free agency would be the final option. But I would expect if we don't keep Ronnie, we are drafting tackle first or second round. Um, but we should not take all the stock of Josh Conerly from one clip. This guy is somebody who is playing in the Big Ten, obviously one of the more premier pass rushing teams in the conferences in the country, especially when you play, he's playing for Oregon. They played Ohio State twice, right? They played Penn State. They played Abdul Carter, right? They played Wisconsin. They played Michigan. They played Boise State even, who was also in the college football playoff. This is a football team that played some very high-end competition, and he gave up 1 sack, two hits, and 6 hurries. Last year, he gave up 1 sack, 2 hits, and 14 hurries, so he definitely improved. But the biggest thing for him that I'm looking at is we do have to recognize this offense, this Oregon offense, because this was a very quick throwing team. Dillon Gabriel was very efficient. They got the ball out quick, but Dillon Gabriel was able to extend plays, which is a benefit, right? If you're drafting a tackle, it helps if they played for somebody that was a little bit more mobile in college. Not saying Dillon Gabriel is Lamar Jackson, but Dillon Gabriel is more mobile than, a Kirk Cousins. Because blocking for Kirk Cousins, very different than blocking for Lamar, because you have to be able to get outside. You have to be able to use that athleticism and know when your quarterback is going to escape the pocket. So when you have to shift your hips, right, maybe let go of the pass rusher, because all of a sudden, if he's pass rushing you this way, right, you might be holding him, but, obviously the refs aren't going to see it because you're holding him on the inside, kind of steering him towards the direction he wants to go. But if he starts going the other way, right, boom, you see the hold. The hands are exposed. They throw the flag every time. That's one of the difficult parts about blocking for scrambling mobile quarterbacks, is holding onto your protections without holding when they do escape the pocket. He does have a little bit more experience with that, so that would not be a concern in my opinion. And, every draft scouting report that you can find, because again, offensive line is like the one position that I'm not like super confident in, scouting. Really, you look at, a couple of things. Are they big enough? Do they play well, right? Do they allow a lot of pressures? And then kind of mentality. But again, that's like, I scout every other position. I feel like I know it very well. Offensive line, I don't claim to know offensive line very well. And I don't necessarily plan on studying offensive line that much. It's just not very entertaining for me. But from everything that I've read, this guy is a first-round talent. This guy is a dominant pass rusher or dominant pass blocker. He can block in the run game. On the Draft Network, which I love their scouting profiles, they say his strength is, plays with length, high-level athlete, good pass protection, good hands. Like, that's what we want. Concerns, his power in the run game, not a dominant finisher yet, but they say he's a, day one player, Pro Bowl caliber. So this guy's good. And I just want to say, like, hey, if we do draft Josh Conerly, I wouldn't be surprised. I also don't think it would be a bad pick, because taking a, 2-year starter at, the number 1 team in the country last year, going into the college football playoff, like, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Oregon won with their offensive line. They were a very good offensive line unit. That's what helped them a lot. So getting him, again, I think there's players I'd rather take, but I would not be surprised at the Conerly pick. And we shouldn't, if it does happen, we shouldn't just be like, this is the guy that got, abused by Mike Green at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, he had a really bad rep. Mike Green is a better player. But Josh Conerly, don't count him out. This guy is an NFL caliber starting tackle. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow. Also, let me know if you like these styles of videos where I analyze other people's mock drafts throughout the week, and then also do my mock drafts on Mondays.